In this lecture, we're going to look at path parameters in FastAPI. Path parameters are additional variables that we pass to the API call, more specifically to the get and post methods usually. And when we need to add some additional information to the URL that's not encrypted or secret from the client or user, we use path parameters. So to quickly jump into the code, I'll show you how they look. So I'm going to create this another route here. Get, let's say this is users, and let's say this is, I'm gonna use a username here. Okay, curly brackets, user name, and yeah, so whenever we specify path parameters, we use these curly brackets here. And now I'm gonna specify my async function, since I'm using FastAPI and I want to leverage the asynchronous capabilities of FastAPI. Let's call this function read username, and I'm going to specify this guy here, this path parameter variable that I specified into my function call, function definition. And I'm going to return, let's return a dictionary, user's name, and let's say it's username. So yeah, so I'm specifying this path parameter here, this variable here, which I'm defining in my function as well, is an argument, and I'm returning that. So let's save this, and you can run your uvicorn with uvicorn main colon app dash reload. It's giving me error here because it's already running for me. So I'm just going to bring my browser here, and I'm just going to refresh this page. And as you can see, we have this function here that I just created, which is this read username. And as you can see, this is the name of the function here, read username, right? So let's try it out. So read username, let's give this name, try it out, Algomatica. That's the name of my channel, Algomatica. And as you can see, this is the current response. The code is this. Successful response is a string. And yeah, there you have it. So we can also put some number there, because since we didn't add any kind of data check or data validation. And let's try it out. 1. It converts that number into string. That's interesting, right? I entered a number, but it kind of parses that into a string. So we can deal with that as well. And it's here saying that successful response is a string. But how can we then parse my path parameter as a number or an integer? So for that, I can specify integer type or data type here, int. And let's make this into a user ID, right? It makes much more sense when I make that into an ID, because name is usually a text or a string. So user ID, and let's change this guy here to user ID as well, just for, yeah, so this makes sense. So user ID is being passed here as an argument, and it's returning here. Perfect. And now we have specified data type of int. Let's save this, and let's go back to our browser. Let's refresh this page, and as you can see, read user ID, that's the name of my this get request here. Let's try it out. Let's enter 444. As you can see, it doesn't have any quotes around it. That means this is a number or an integer. And yeah, this makes sense. So what happens if I try to enter text here or a string here? So let's say enter Algomatica again. Let's execute that. See, you get a validation error. The value must be an integer. Why is that? Because on the left, you can see in the code here, this is int type, right? So that's why. Okay, so now let's talk about one more thing here. Imagine I had one more path operation here. It's gonna look like this, and it's a fixed path operation. So let's say I want to go to username to this path, and it's a fixed path. As you can see, this is not a path parameter. So let's remove all this, and let's just return something here. Testing. Okay, so as you can see, now we have 3 path operations here. This is a simple one here, index, and then we have this guy here, users, usernames, and then you have users / a variable or path parameter, user ID, right? This kind of looks similar. So whenever you have something like this, make sure the static ones, the fixed paths, always come before the variable paths or the path parameters. The path parameters will always come in the end, and the fixed paths come before them. Okay, so now let's save it, and let's go back to our browser. Let's refresh this page, and as you can see, we have 3 now. So read user ID, because I didn't change the name of the function, which I should. So let's change it. So read, let's just say username. Okay, it's not reading anything, so let's just say username. And let's go back here. Let's refresh this again, so it's more explainable. Yep, the first one here is this guy here. The second one is the fixed path, which is users / usernames, and then we have this path parameter here, users, user ID. So let's go here, try it out. There's no parameters in there, so let's execute that, and we get this. This is what we want to return, right? Return username and testing. Let's collapse this and come back to user ID, and this is gonna work as is, right? So try it out. Let's pick 3. There you have it. That's the response body. It's a type of integer as we specified here. So again, just to recap, make sure the fixed path operation, which is this guy and this guy, they always come before the path parameters here. That's pretty much it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.